Garnet, I mean, there's talk, there's talk about they want to do new, different things. Gamers, I think, want Nintendo to succeed in their heart of hearts.
Yeah,
As Jason Rubin will always say in the bonus round, it's like you have this nostalgia for Nintendo. You love what Nintendo's about, but what do they do even this year? I mean, they've got games coming for the Wii U, but I mean, Mario Kart, all these. I mean, who are they selling?
Why are we dismissing those? I mean, how much of this is us in the media creating more momentum around that story, based off of the financial difficulties that they've had? Because they have had financial difficulties. And Michael, I mean, obviously you're the expert on that front, but as a gamer, right. I'm looking at what Nintendo's doing, and I'm thinking, you know what? They're doing what they've always done. They've got a piece of hardware on which they're putting their signature titles, and they're doing a good job of executing on that. Look no further than the reviews of Donkey Kong. Like, it's a great game. It's a great Nintendo game. We're going to have Smash Brothers. We're going to have Mario Kart. We're going to have a Zelda on it. We're going to be in the heyday of Nintendo product again.
But is that enough to convince people to go and buy that console?
That's a great question, and I think that
the core, yes.
The core, exactly.
So,
that's
you know, the
a lot of the Nintendo cores already bought it by now, probably, right?
6 million of them have, and there's another 10. I mean, of course they will.
Right. And they got to get rid of the tablet. I mean,
we all believe they'll sell 20 million Wii U's, and I think that number is kind of a nice round off to the nearest 10 million of the number of people who will buy that console solely for Nintendo content. Right. The problem is at 20 million installed base, period, they're not going to get a lot of third-party content.
Well, I think it seems by now most of the third parties are starting to bail, right?
That's right.
That's a Nintendo refrain we've heard, though, every time in the last few generations. Right. And with their hardware not being as technically sophisticated, how much efficiency can they build in over the next 3 or 4 years? What price point can they get down to with that box? Make it a really great value add. And every time you're going to be coming in and saying, wow, look at all these games I can play.
I do think, your point about getting rid of the gamepad, I think, even now when I was playing Donkey Kong, I don't like playing with the gamepad, and you don't need it for the game. So I'm like, they get the tablet out there, which I think is still pretty expensive. Yeah. And then they might be able to, reduce the price enough that then someone's looking at a, $400 or $500 console, and it's like, hey, this thing is, I don't know if it's $199 or what it ends up being.
They'd rename it the Wii HD.
And I get the irony because, I was the guy.
I'd only be 5 years late.
I was the guy
one day Mr. Iwata's going to call you, Michael, and say you were right.
It's funny because I was the guy who was defending the Kinect, right? But I think that the Kinect is completely separate from what we have in other places, whereas the gamepad is pulling tablet. Yeah, it's pulling tablet technology, but it's not cutting-edge tablet technology. Yeah. Anybody who has even a Kindle Fire looks at it and says, "Wow, my Kindle Fire, which was $230, is way more sophisticated than just the gamepad on my Wii U," and it's just not. It's not as compelling.
So this year for Nintendo, they've said we've got some games coming out. Do you guys realistically expect them to change anything?
No. I think as long as Iwata's there, the strategy remains the same. They never deviate. I think that the board supports him. I think everybody who works at Nintendo believes they can return to their former glory, and I actually do too. Right. Just not with this lineup of hardware. Right. I mean, they need new hardware, and that's 3 years away minimum, and it's 3 years from when they realize they need to do it. Right. And I don't think they've yet acknowledged they need to do it. So I think holding out hope that the Wii U's fortunes turn means they're going to waste a year or two hoping, and it's not.
So they should just cut bait, kind of move on to the next thing.
I think so.
Smash will be huge. Right. You'll be thrilled when you see more Zelda at E3. There'll be great stuff coming on 3DS XL. Right. I think that they still
3DS is fine. 3DS.
Yeah, so I think that they still have that playbook that works, not connected to the financial side, which does paint a bad picture for them.
Right, but I think there are going to be some good games, and this health and fitness thing. Who knows? I mean, I know it sounds silly, but vitality sensor. There could be an audience. They could target kids with that, or who knows?
Vitality sensor.
Remember that? That was the start of health and fitness. Yes, that's when they talked about that, right?
I mean, it's like they've been, but see, they already proved that they don't know how to do it with that. So.
Yeah, but I'd be interested to see what that is going to be. But I think part of what they're going to have to do is find those new markets, right? And something like that. Microsoft is doing health and fitness on Xbox. It's not like other people aren't doing it, but is there something different about how they can approach that? Or sleep, right? The vitality sensor, I think, was supposed to be analyzing your sleep and helping you fall asleep.
Buy a Wii U, help yourself sleep.
Never know. Could be the new strategy.
They have great games. Why do we get sidetracked on this stuff?
But that's what they're going to need. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. We'll be back next Sunday with more in the bonus round with Pack and Garnet.